Welcome to the inaugural episode of Alex Turbin Live. I guess that's what we'll call it, Alex Turbin Live. Uh, um, Things are going to be a little wonky until I figure out everything, especially because I'm using my phone that I was using like 5 years ago. So it's an older thing, and but I'm hoping that the volume works because I can't use my other phone with the real phone that I use because for some reason the volume isn't working. But I also have a new microphone, so maybe I will try to get that going. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff that I want to show off and kind of figure out where I'm going with it and what I'm going to do. But before that, let's move to the very first segment of this stream. And every stream going forward, the beginning will be Obsessed with Marvel. It's a trivia book, as you guys probably have seen in my previous stream and or videos and stuff like that with Joe. Especially, we did a few things with him, and but I'm going to do three. Let's do three every day or every new stream, and hopefully it'll become a cool little thing. I do the if do you guys do the Jeopardy, comic book Jeopardy? I don't know how long they've been doing it, but I just discovered it the other day, and it's basically Jeopardy, only comic book stuff. And I'm going to start calculating and tabulating all of my 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 correct answers and my not correct answers. They say to do it that you can do it however you want, like not even keep score or whatever. But I'm definitely going to do it just like Jeopardy because that's what I like to do. There's somebody watching me, which is cool, always cool. But I can't see. I don't know if somebody says anything. Like I said, this is kind of new to me, this whole streaming thing, and I'm trying to figure it all out exactly. And there they go. But did they really leave or did they not really leave? But anyway, this is Obsessed with Marvel. Test your knowledge of the Marvel universe. And since I'm a Marvel guy, I'm going to do this one. They do have a Star Wars one, and they have another one. I can't remember what they have. I think they might have two or three. But I'm going to try this. We will do this, though. I think, I got to go to 1082. The thing about this is that this mechanism here is awesome. It shows you the page that you're supposed to be on. I need to be on 1082, not the page, but the question, and that is right here, 1082. And it says, where did the Wrecking Crew battle Thor in 304, 1981? Times Square, Rockefeller Center, Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, or the United Nations? I do not have 304. I do have 300. Anybody that knows Thor knows that 300 is a big one because that is when Odin, the Celestials, come to Earth. And Odin gets all of the gods together and stuff to fight them, but it's a foolhardy task and it doesn't work. I might actually go over that sometime really soon because that really is kind of a cool issue. There's so many comics that I want to review, and Wednesdays are, like I said, it's a little bit of a break time from reviews, and it's a little bit of a catch up time to do, just to check out some of the other stuff. I'm going to say the United Nations complex. D. The correct answer was C. Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. Well, doesn't that suck? Beep, 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 beep. 2215. 2215 is far, far back here. That's like almost at the very last one. 21, 22, 10, 22, 15. Who is Alita? Oh, I don't know who Alita is. Starhawk's wife, Starhawk's foster sister, both A and B, neither A nor B. Who is Alita? I wish you guys were. I wish you guys were watching me right now, and you could help me out with these things because that's really what I would like. Um, Alita, I'm going to say is both A and B. Give this a C. Ding, correct. So, Starhawk's wife and foster sister is Alita. I guess foster sister isn't like they're you know, doing the incestual thing. 898. 898, 898, 898, 898. 864, 875, 896, 899. Who killed the original swordsman? Ooh, Pharaoh Ramatut. B. Kang the Conqueror. C. Mantis. D. Hawkeye. Oh man, I just don't know. I suck at this Marvel game. I'm gonna say Hawkeye. Did Hawkeye kill him? D. We're gonna say D. It was actually B. B. Kang the Conqueror killed the original swordsman. Well, there you go. Nope, we're turning you off. We're turning you off. Anyway, one of the things is that it just stops on its own. Hey, whoever's watching, would you want to do a trivia? Give me a. Oh nope, they left you. All right, so some of the things that we are going to talk about and do in the next few months or whatever. First off, I want to tell everybody that I did get my resin for the Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops bust, and this, for anybody who doesn't know, this is how you create them. This is a little technique that I learned online, and anybody who makes molds and makes busts or makes any kind of thing like this with resin or whatever, here's a little trick. I got to wash out the stuff that I tried to use, not cement, but I tried to use plaster, and it just did not work at all. So I'm going to have to use some resin. But a nice trick is if you get silicone and you put it, it has to be a certain kind. It has to be 100% silicone, number one. It has to, it's got a smell to it. It's got a strong smell to it, even hardened up. But one of the cool things is that it's not like a pourable thing. A lot of people use resins, and they use mold making kits and stuff like that, which is super expensive. Like this here would probably be $30 worth of mold making stuff, whereas this was $5, $10. It's actually $8.99 for a thing, and this is actually two. I believe this is actually two. I actually have a an in on some $5 stuff, so I'm going to be trying to grab some of that. But this is two of them, so this was probably $17 altogether. But it's not the other stuff that I was talking about is pourable. Like, and you make a box, and then you put the thing in the box, and then you pour it in, and it makes the mold, and then you cut it, and there's your mold. This is really, you have to you kind of knead it into the water, and because the water, I'll explain it. You cut open some of the silicone, and then you dump it into a thing of water. The water changes the molecular structure or whatever, so that this looks like cocaine. But it changes the molecular structure or whatever, so it hardens faster, because usually this would take like a day or a couple days to harden. But if you mix it with the water and you knead it and you fold it and stuff, it hardens within maybe 20 minutes to half an hour or something like that. And the thing is, you have to press it in really good to the little nooks and crannies and stuff. I'm not entirely sure I got underneath the nostrils, but I do think I got quite a bit. But the only problem with this mold here is that the chest has got a little bubble in it that I already know. So I'm gonna have to kind of scrape that off. I'm gonna either do this, I'm gonna try it once, and I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna see how it goes. And then if it doesn't work and I have to scrape it off too much, or I have to do something too much to it, then I'll just make another one for like 15 bucks or 16 bucks. Like I said, I have an in for $5 each. I'm just going to grab a bunch of those because I am going to want to make more busts and more figures and stuff. And you guys can follow me on that journey as well. So that is one of the first things I wanted to talk about. And actually, I'm talking about that mostly because I did get the resin. Anybody that knows that if you backed Morgrim the Savage Cyclops, then you will get a bust here. You will get a bust, and along with the comic book and whatever goodies that you signed up for. But one of the reasons that I needed to hit $500 in the backers is because I needed some of this Model Pro polyurethane casting resin, and it is pretty cool stuff. Like I said the last time, or one of the times, is that I messed it up because this kind of gets a little bit crusty. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is figure out how to wipe the inside of the cap really good. And but it gets crusty, and like it's resin, so it's like a hard plastic. So it's almost impossible to get the cap off. And so I put it into another container. This is obviously a container made for this, so it wouldn't harden, wouldn't go bad or anything. Excuse me. The other container got hard, and it's a big mess. I've got some of this stuff. This is actually the hardener, the resin. The other stuff is the hardener. So you mix them together one for one, and it turns this plasticky stuff into a hard plastic. So there you go. There's your quick into the mold making, resin making stuff. And I'm really looking forward to doing this. I'm going to try to do it today and see how that comes out. Some of the other stuff. Let's look at some of the art that I have been making. This is something that I actually have not shown on Instagram or anything. This is the Reality Writers, and this is like a little poster, or kind of, I don't know what you would call it, just an illustration of the Reality Writers. And I kind of was just playing around with whether or not I really wanted to go into it, because as you guys may know or have heard, I get crazy ideas. I get ideas all the time, and really the ones that stick with me, that I see definition, are the ones that I do a lot of thought into. I do a lot of research, whether or not that's doing more illustrations or stuff like that. The bad thing about Reality Writers is that I would have to draw a lot of motorcycles. The good thing about Reality Writers is I'm kind of going for the New York City Outlaws vibe. So this would be an outlaw comic. I would have lots of sex, lots of violence, lots of guns, lots of all the cool stuff that you like in your outlaw comics. And I would really push the limits to good taste, really. Here is something that I was working on of Joe's. I can never remember who these characters. This is Red Raven, I'm pretty sure, and this is, I cannot remember his name. What the heck? Joe. What's his name? But anyway, this is just a little pin-up thing that I was working on, and I don't know if I'll finish it. I probably will. Hopefully, I will. This is what was going to be, or could have been, a cover for Entropy Alliance. It still could very well be a cover for Entropy Alliance. This is acrylic paints. Yeah, I've kind of switched to oil colors, oil paints. So which the thing is, I've always done acrylics all through my whole life. I'm like 55. Ever since like high school, I've always used acrylics, and they're pretty good, and I'm pretty good with them. But I mean, they just dry so fast. The blending is so hard, and if you don't get the blending really right and exactly how you want it the very first time, you have a really hard time fixing it. And that's what I would do. I would go over things, and I would eventually fix it and make it good, or what I think could be possibly good. But I really like this. I really like Superion here, and Dr. Entropy and stuff. So I probably will get back to this, but we will definitely see. As I said before, I'm working on Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops. You can check out the Kickstarter. I'll leave that in the description when I'm all done with this. This is actually the regular version, the regular white version. I if people are going to get this version or the semi-gloss, because here we go. We've got this is the same cover stock that I use for random access, and with the interior the interior pages, which are 20-pound non-glossy, just plain like printer paper pretty much. And I do like this. I think it's pretty good, especially when you flatten it down and give it a nice real flat feel. I do like this, but I've also got a semi-gloss that I'm going to try to really get into the printing for it. But I'm having a hard time with my black ink. The non-OEM black inks are sometimes a little finicky, whereas like if you print on a glossy paper, because the cover stock is a glossy paper, then it's rubbing off. As you could see on this one, this is the newest issue of Random Access with a fantastic cover by Bev Grimes. And but you can see the black on here, especially when it's heavy blacks. This is running out, so rubbing off rather. So I'm going to need to. I've got more ink coming in, so I'm going to have to suck out the ink from the tube or the tank, or I've been printing off nonstop to try to just use up the black ink. So it's going to be a challenge to figure out exactly what I want to do. But here's Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops, like I was saying, and I'll leave the description on how you can back this. Here is, I think, everybody who backs the comic is going to get a newsprint version. Everybody loves newsprint. I don't know a single comic book fan that doesn't love newsprint. It actually looks a lot better on the newsprint, I think. Let's look at page 2 of each of them. Maybe you can't tell from the camera. Let me know. Please let me know if you guys can tell from the camera the differences. But there's like a blendingness here that is lost on the blending here, and it's even more so on the semi-glossy paper that I'm thinking of using. So I just don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I guess a lot of it or some of it will depend on how much printing I can get done with the crappy black ink that I have, but also how much newsprint paper I have. I really like the newsprint stuff. One of the problems though is that the newsprint I cut by hand, so sometimes it's a little not as straight. Like some pages, this is really straight, but this is ever so slightly off. You can see it, but you can't see it. It's ever so slightly off center, but it's pretty darn close. I almost said I might give everybody this and the other one. But so anyway, if you back Morgrim, you'll probably get 2 copies, depending what your backing stage is, phase, tier, whatever. Then you'll probably get that. So let's look at this. I've been coloring because this was going to be my next Kickstarter, but I think I'm going to leave the Kickstarters just for Morgrim, and I think I might only do the Kickstarters maybe every 2 or 3, something like that. I'm thinking right now, because the Kickstarter went well, and I met my backing minimum and everything, and surpassed it by a couple $100. But I'm thinking that I don't know. I just think that having too many is not a good thing. Having too many too soon is not a good thing. There's lots of ins and outs of Kickstarter, so there's that. However, this is my 1900s horror that I've talked about for 2 or 3 years now. Morgrim I've had that for a year, maybe, no, less than a year, maybe 6 months, something like that. And I finished it and I had a good time and everything, and it got done pretty quick. This has gone through a lot of iterations. Like I did the whole thing, 24 pages in maybe a month, month and a half, 2 months, something like that. It was pretty quick. But I gave it to a friend of mine to color. Fantastic colorist. He's one of the best in comic books. Marvel, DC, Indie, I don't care. I think he's one of the greatest colorists ever. But he wasn't really into the project, or wasn't really into finishing it. He had other stuff to do. I completely understand that. He did like 8 or 9 pages. So I kind of was really like, Am I going to be able to match coloring him myself? I tried to get a couple other people to do it that they just fell through. But I pushed ahead, and so now I'm just going to color 1900s horror. And anybody that doesn't know, it is a comic book featuring H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard. They are like buddies in real life. They were pen pals. And in this one, it's kind of a reimagining, like what if they were just friends? What if they weren't just pen pals? And they were friends, and they went on these adventures together, and they're both of the writings from both of their stories were real life, like the Necronomicon's in here. The guy that wrote the Necronomicon at the very end is oh, what's his name? It's not here. Not Wilbur Whately, but the guy that does the resurrects people. I can't remember his name now. Oh, what the heck's his name? Anyway, so like I said, it's H.P. Lovecraft and it's Robert E. Howard. H.P. Lovecraft is a magician. He's like a sorcerer, and Robert E. Howard, like in real life, he's like a weightlifter. He was a boxer. He was like a tough. And their main thing to start out with is they are going to they go to a graveyard where every year, I don't know if it still goes on, but I think it still might, a stranger goes to the graveyard of Edgar Allan Poe, and he places 3 roses on his gravestone, his wife's, and his mother, stepmother, something like that, mother-in-law. He places a rose on. This is like midnight, or 2 o'clock in the morning, or something like that. And this is a real thing that happens, or it did happen for a long time. Edgar Allan Poe is their favorite author. They're going to try to resurrect from the dead. So they need some of this magical stuff that this guy is drawing, just because incantations and all of that kind of stuff. I do like the coloring this, actually. So I think some of this stuff, if you put it up side by side with the original colorist, his is better, I think. But I think there's certain aspects of mine that I'm kind of enjoying the way that they came out. This is actually a reprint of Tales from the Toilet. Was that it? Tales from the Toilet? I think that was it. An anthology that went for a little while, 10 issues, 8 issues, from a group of artists. And they were doing a thing on horror or something like that. I can't remember what it was. But I did I did a couple pages of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. It's a little bit controversial as far as I'm concerned, because it has to do with H.P. Lovecraft and his how would you say, his indelicacies towards other races or other cultures. That is putting it delicate and mildly, because he was kind of fascist, if you ask me. But here is the main bad guy in the story, and there's like an action scene and cool sword fights, and there's some almost ninjas. They're not really ninja. I don't think I say anywhere that they're Hashishin, which are the Hashinshin were the ones that took in the Templars, the Knight Templars in the Middle East during the Middle Ages and the Crusades and stuff, and taught the Crusaders, the Knight Templars things. And I personally believe they became maybe not Satan worshippers, but they became worshippers of other than God. How shall we say? But that's only my own interpretation of all of the stuff that I've heard about the Knight Templars and stuff. So I'm not going to really show everything here. But like I said, there's a battle, there's some fight scenes. Robert E. Howard busts in with his gun blazing, and he comes to save H.P. Lovecraft. And some of these are actually tests for my printer, so the ink is a little bit off. But this good little battle, this little fight scene, and I'm going to be changing the lettering as well. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm changing too. And this is the first time I've shown off most of these pages. The first like 8 pages, 7 or 8 pages, were in random access. But after that, 6, 7, I think 7 was the last time that was shown in random access. And after that, it hasn't been shown. So there you go. And some of the other stuff I'm working on here is a big thing that I'm going to show you some pages. Show you some pages here. This is 3. I got to get them in order first. This is from Barbarian Maidens. It's an anthology coming out by Jamie Barrows. And it's basically, he does Crom the Barbarian anthology, which has a whole bunch of really fantastic artists. And I have contributed to the last 2 or 2 of the 3. I missed the first one because I'm an idiot. But I'm in 1 and 3, and they both have stories that interconnect. And this is actually a continuation of the stories. And when I get them all done, I'm going to publish them all into their own version. However, I'm going to actually make it a little different. I'm going to RFI it, I guess. We're going to lose Lala's clothing here, and she's going to be topless for the most part. And so what happened in the first 2 series was Lala was captured by the Bat Lord, and Crom had to fight his way up a mountain range, and he eventually killed the Bat Lord. But they were on top of the mountain range, much like the inspiration for the Crom storyline was Journey. I don't think I've ever said that before, but there's the video game Journey, not the musical group. But anybody that has played Journey knows the part where they're going up a mountain, a snowy mountain, and it's one of the most fantastic, beautiful parts of that video game. I might have to go play that after this if I have time. But it's a beautiful video game, and that is a huge inspiration for the Bat Lord and him being in the mountains and stuff like that, and the whole kind of aesthetic of what I was trying to do. But they're trapped in the castle on top of a mountain. A whole bunch of bat soldiers are flying around, so they jump off of the castle, and they jump from bat to bat. I haven't actually done that yet. This is part 4 of the storyline, and there's going to be 7 pages, 6 or 7 pages. But there's part 4. Part 3 is the Crom storyline that I haven't done yet, but we will. It's kind of, this is going into Blood Maidens, and then Crom will go into the Crom Anthology 4. So here is Lala and Crom falling from the sky because they tie each other up with ropes, and they don't tie each other up, but they tie each other together because they're jumping off. Crom is going from bat soldier to bat soldier, kind of jumping from bat to bat, and he doesn't want to lose Lala, doesn't want her to fall and die, so he ties a rope to her, and they just kind of go from bat to bat. That's going to be a really fun sequence to draw. But he gets knocked out, and they just kind of fall to the ground. They're already pretty close to the ground, so they're not going to die, of course. And then they get stuck in a tree, and I'm not even going to keep explaining the story. I'm just going to leave it here, explaining wise. I'm just here to show the art and what I'm working on and stuff. I showed this on Instagram just yesterday or today or something to advertise the fact that I was going to be streaming today. And this is one of my favorite pages I think I've done in a long time. I really like Lala. Her leg could be a little bit short, but other than that, I think I really enjoy it. I like the background. I like Crom. She's carrying Crom, obviously, and it's going to be, I think it's really a cool picture. And then some breakdowns. We don't have to look at that. We're getting to 29, 30 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. The last thing that I'm going to show, I'm not going to show this now. I get comics at the dollar store, and I'm going to start opening them up because I have like 20, 30, 40 of them, something like that. I just keep buying them and not opening them and reading them. So I'm going to start opening them up, getting doubles maybe, and opening up here, and we're going to just check them out. anybody else out there get these comics from the dollar store, let me know and see what you think. But I mean, they've got some really great titles. We've got uh, World War III from the JLA. I believe I have this already because it's Grant Morrison, and I'm pretty sure I have all of the Grant Morrison run on the JLA. That was one of the reasons I got this. I usually go and get like 10 of them or whatever, and I just kind of pick and grab which ones I want to get. This is John Romita Jr., Action Comics #1, The House of Kent. I never got this before, and I'm super excited because Romita Jr. is like, he's in my top, I always say this, top 3, top 5. I'm gonna sit down and write down who is my top 10 favorite comic book artists. But he's definitely one of them. He's way up there, definitely up there. And then we have, who is this? King, Janine, and Bellary. I don't know. I like the cover though. I think that's really cool. We're not going to rip into these today, but just because it's gotten a little bit longer video, and I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon, maybe 5-10 minutes or something like that. I just want to show you a few more things. This is actually part of the Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops backers, is that if you get a certain tier, then you will get trading cards or place cards or illustration cards. What, I don't know what you call them. But I decided to, just the other day when I was like, oh, I'm going to do these, I decided that I'm going to make them into a story. So this is actually going to be in the comic book, hopefully. I believe there's 2 pages of this, and then I'm going to cut these up and send them out to the backers. So the backers will actually have some of the comic book in there. I think because we have a Ken Landgraf pinup here, which is, thank you so much, Kirk Olford, for getting that, and to Ken for getting this. It's fantastic. I love it. His illustration is going to be right here instead of the Comics Marketplace thing. And I think this will either take this and one or of them. I'm not entirely sure of the different pages that it's going to take up, but I think that would be really fun to have. The backers will actually have a part of the comic book that it was created, and I think that would be a really fun thing. The story isn't a really big deal. It's just kind of an overview of the comic and what's going on. And this is part 2 of Morgrim. Or the second issue rather. I've got it almost all inked except for this panel here, and it introduces the name of Luthien, the guy in Morgrim, his father figure. And also here is a pinup illustration of one of the gods. He is an avatar of the god. We don't really see the gods. I don't know, we probably will see the gods. I'm not entirely sure about that. We will see of the gods for sure, and we probably will see the gods, the old evil gods too. This is the Wanderer, and he has like a pathway around the map of Theostoria, which is right here. This is the pathway of the Wanderer, the wandering god, and or path of the walker is what he is. He just goes around. He's searching for something. We don't know what he's searching for. Every once in a while, he'll rip he'll because he's a giant. Obviously, these are little people. He'll dig his hand into the dirt or grab up a tree, and he'll throw him in this cage that he has on his back. Sometimes people purposefully get caught up in his grasp and thrown into the cage because they are worshipers of the god that he is, the walker, or they just hack, an accident. He could be going through a village and just, grabbing people or whatever. See the look on his face. He just doesn't really know exactly what he's doing, but he's just doing what he does, which is he's walking around and he's grabbing stuff. Here's another pinup of Morgrim that I'm working on. I don't know where that's going to end up. And here's another pinup of Morgrim that I don't know where it's going to end up. And this is a little special thing here. If you guys can ascertain what it is, and it's a fun little trivia thing. And I actually have some written stuff here, and I'm going to try to do this summer. But we don't know. I don't know. More people die on this bridge than any other in the country. They say half of them, if they hadn't done it. Halfway down, I know I know have I know and have any. What does that say? Halfway down. I know I ain't have any regrets. I guess I'll have to relook that the writing for that and figure out exactly what it is. But yeah, so Golden Gate Bridge, little teaser. We have this from Symborgs, which is going to be the cover of when I have Symborgs all colored. It'll be issue number 1. This will be the cover. You saw the cover that Astor D. He took some inspiration from that. I don't know if I'm going to do this electricity around his head. Anybody that knows the characters of Symborgs and can figure that out. Oh, I got some dirt on my, or some crud on my artwork. How many artists out there get crud on your artwork? I mean, and here is, I was going to show some Entropy Alliance stuff. This is the last page, but I couldn't find it. This is the last page that I've worked on. Hopefully I'll work on some more and we will see. But anyway, there's even more stuff. Here's a little bit of a teaser on some of the stuff that we're going to do. I have this old Star Blazers model that I'm going to do something with, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. It's seen better days. I really love it, and I'm not ever going to throw it away, but it's pretty messed up. So we will see if I can fix it, and maybe I'll do something else with it. But anyway, thanks for watching the stream. Thank you for everybody that came in and checked stuff out. If you left a message and I didn't see anything, I apologize that I didn't actually see it. If I see your message, I will 100% reply to you. Definitely, there's no doubt. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you again on Friday. I might do a reading tomorrow, but we'll definitely do a review on Friday. I think I'm going to do another Solomon Kane. But so check us out then, and until then, as we always say, make better comics.